Hey everybody, welcome to JLB Sports TV. I'm Justin Block, and everybody at the JLB Sports TV team, including my little brother Adam, who actually is my editor and my film producer. We want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, or Merry Giftmas, Happy Holidays, and a wonderful New Year, and Christmas, yay! Now for Christmas, Adam actually got a green screen and fabulous new lighting equipment, which we are currently using. And we're actually planning to do a little bit more creative projects involving sports this year. So be on the lookout for in early 2010 or at the end of 2009, we're going to be making a Packers music video featuring B.J. Raji, aka Big Papa, Aaron Rodgers, the Iceman, and Atari Bigby, because Atari Bigby looks like Lil Wayne. So be on the lookout for that. We're trying to be doing more music videos and more creative projects as we go along, because we have a green screen now. Okay, so moving on, I'd actually like to address some more Brett Favre talk. Now, it's been reported that last week he had his bust up with Brad Childress. Obviously, Childress wanted to pull him from the game after they were winning 7-3. Favre didn't like that. He just simply said no to Childress. And then after the game, Childress unleashed a fury of just curses and profanity directed at Brett Favre. So Kevin Seifert on the ESPN North blog on ESPN.com created a list of Favre Childress bust-ups that have actually happened over the course of the season. The first one being on October 5th. They were beating my Packers by 10 points. I actually remember this instance. They beat the Packers by 10 points, and all they had to do was run the clock out. They were facing, I think it was a 3rd and short in the 4th quarter, and Favre audibled from a run to a pass. It was incomplete to Bernard Berrian. The Vikings had to kick the ball away, and it stopped the clock most of all, which potentially could have cost the Vikings the game, because I believe the Packers only lost by a touchdown that game. The Vikings offensive coordinator had to talk Childress down and calm him down to prevent Childress from pulling Favre from the game. Between October 6th, directly after the game, and the 10th, Childress and Favre talked about it in his office at a private meeting. Then on November 1st, Favre changed a third down running play to Adrian Peterson to a pass against Green Bay, and even though he threw a 16-yard touchdown, Childress again had to be convinced to not pull Favre out of the game. Then on November 15th, Childress was so unhappy with Favre's play against the Lions, a game that the Vikings would win, that he almost put in backup quarterback Tavares Jackson, and once again had to be convinced to not pull Favre out of the game. So there have been many bust-ups between Favre and coach over the course of the season, and although my famous prediction that Favre would make the Vikings worse has not been true, my prediction that he would have a late season swoon has been true, as the Vikings have lost 2 of their past 3, and Favre has thrown 4 interceptions during that period. Now, I also said in the beginning, I believe in August, that Favre would sort of get away from what the Vikings want to do in offense, which is run the ball with Adrian Peterson and Chester Taylor all day, and this is becoming true. From what's been reported and from what we can see, Favre loves to audibles out of runs from Childress and call pass plays for himself, which again gets into the Favre mentality that it's all about me, all about me. I'd rather throw the ball than hand the ball off to one of the best running backs in football, which doesn't really make sense. But when Childress and Favre addressed in the press conference regarding the incident last week against Carolina, was that Favre, yeah, he sees 7 or 8 guys in the box, so he's obviously thinking, I got to audible out of this play now because AP is going to get stuffed. But Childress doesn't want that. He's trying to set something up for 7, 8 plays down the road, trying to set up the play action, trying to set up the big play. And I think Mark Schlereth on ESPN put it perfectly. Childress is thinking long-term, couple plays down the road throughout the course of the game, and Favre is just thinking, as a player, I want to get out of this bad situation right now. Now, obviously, the Vikings haven't been running the ball particularly well lately. Adrian Peterson has had a couple awful games in a row, which has contributed to why the Vikings have been losing. But he's Adrian Peterson. The Vikings' offensive line is good, and I expect him to get back on track. Now, I'm actually hoping that the Vikings will lose out and that the Eagles will win out, so that the Eagles can overtake the number 2 seed. Because that means the Vikings would basically lose home field advantage until they would have to probably play the Saints in the potential NFC Championship game, which would bode well for everybody that hates the Vikings, because it's been reported this week that Brett Favre can't play in cold weather games. ESPN had a nice little nifty stat that he's 0-7 in his last games below 40 degrees, or what's considered cold weather games, and he's thrown a ton of picks in that period. He also hasn't played well in cold weather home games, because as I remember, the NFC Championship game, I think it was January 20th, 2007, Favre in the cold, in negative weather, the absolute coldest weather, threw that interception to Corey Webster to eliminate the Packers from the playoffs and send the Giants to the Super Bowl. So I guess Favre can't play in the cold weather anymore. So I really just wanted to address the Favre situation, not to compound to the media blitz that you're seeing on ESPN 24/7 right now leading up to the Monday night game. Just on a Packers note, we're sitting pretty well at 9-5. I think that we'll take care of business against Seattle. And the Arizona game is going to be interesting because the way that Ben Roethlisberger absolutely shredded our defense last week, which was just an absolute heartbreaker of a game. I don't know how the defense is going to be able to hold up against the pass-happy Arizona Cardinals. I do think the Packers take that game just because Aaron Rodgers and the Packers offense is absolutely rolling right now, absolutely clicking. And Dom Capers is an absolute stud of a defensive coordinator. He'll figure out a great game plan. So I believe the Packers finished at 11-5. And the even more interesting thing is that if the standings stay where they are right now, as soon as the Packers play the Cardinals week 17, they would, I think, go to Arizona the next week on the road in the same stadium to play the Cardinals in the wild card round. And whoever wins that game would potentially play the Vikings if the Vikings can lock up the number 2 seed. So personally, I'm looking forward to a Packers Favre rematch in the playoffs down the road. Go Packers! Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I hope everybody likes some of the Christmas gifts I got here. Hopalong Scott for the World Cup, Robin Van Persie jersey, and
Tom Brady.
Yeah, he got a Brady jersey. He's a Patriots fan. Go figure. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, have a great New Year. Bye.
Bye.